Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
Yours truly, Jonathan.
my man in a can, Jonathan.
Juntao.
Juntel again?
Yeah, why not?
And me,
I have
Mike.
many names.
Me, Mike D. And we are here again with you to take on the world of... You forget what we're talking about?
Nah, I just wanted to fuck with you.
Dramatic pause.
Oh, we got a pretty interesting topic today. It's about...
I found it interesting as I started delving into it.
Yeah.
When you first said it, I'm like, like most things you say. What
You
the
just
fuck are
ignored
you
it.
talking about, John?
You just disregarded it.
Nah, I didn't disregard it. I just didn't think too much of it.
Well, before we get into this,
Okay.
I want to talk about your deconstructed wonton soup. Let me hear.
Okay.
What was it?
Deconstructed egg roll.
Oh,
Egg roll in a bowl.
egg roll in a bowl. Not the kind you smoke, but the kind you eat.
I will put a picture of it right here.
Right there. So, me and Mike are trying to drop some poundage just for our good health and our trip out west. Yeah.
The fact is I believe that I am too fat to trudge around the Rockies without getting myself a little more healthy.
Yeah, we're both going to die.
But we'll die together.
That's hand in hand?
If you try to hold my hand, I will smack you.
Dick and dick?
That's not happening.
We could be chocolate twins?
No. There's
We'll take a dump right next to each other?
Nope.
That was the first time I ever...
We're not sharing a shit log.
It takes a lot to have a good shit log.
Back to the deconstructed egg roll.
That's a winner, man.
Dude,
You got to send me that recipe.
I will. That's so gay, but I will.
I don't care.
I don't care.
So good. Very simple, too.
No carbs, or very little carbs. It's cabbage. I use ground turkey instead of ground beef. A little more healthy. Sesame oil, a little vegetable oil.
You know what I almost told you? I said, you know what this thing needs?
A wrapper.
A wrapper.
You know what Deb said? Deb said we should get some wrappers and just toast them, and we could dip it in and eat it.
Just eat an egg roll.
Or I could just go to the Chinese place and not have to spend an hour making it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Chinese food anymore is fucking expensive.
Egg rolls are still like $1, bro.
I know, but you don't only just get an egg roll.
I could get egg rolls,
But you don't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, nobody does.
But I could.
You get the fried wontons.
Oh, the fucking fried
wonton
wonton.
soup.
Nah,
I like
fried wontons. That's the shit, bro.
lo mein.
Steamed and fried.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And,
With the hoisin sauce. Oh,
yeah.
I think I'm going to have an orgasm.
Get it all. Yeah, you wind up getting Chinese food now. It's like $60.
And you're hungry 2 minutes after you're done.
You're hungry 2 minutes later. So,
Oh, that filled me up pretty good.
yeah, I agree.
So that was our podcast fuel this week. I did not put anything on the smoker.
No smokage meat. No smoked meat.
I wonder if I could have made that on the smoker.
No.
Probably not.
No.
I'd like to try it, though.
Why?
Just because I like everything on the smoker.
That does not need to be smoked.
I like using my smoker.
Wonder if I smoked my dick. What would happen? Would I ever need to wash it again?
Of course you would.
I smoked my balls. Yeah, on the first date. Like, what's that smell, Mike? You get done eating like a nice, good, like Asian dinner or whatever, steak dinner.
An Asian steak dinner?
Yeah, I smoked my balls over the weekend. I smoked my balls last night before I came over.
I want to know if you like your balls smoked.
You could do it like that, how they do the whiskey, where you just like cup your nuts with the glass, with the little, like just sit there with a glass cup over your cock and balls.
Oh my God. How are we friends?
You found me. You were attracted to me. Anyways, without further ado, our topic today is...
I don't know.
The infamous...
Plum Island.
Plum Creek.
Plum Creek. Isn't that where you get ice cream?
Shit, damn it, yes. Plum Island. I stand corrected, folks.
He stands corrected, he sits corrected, he lays down corrected. Plum Island is in New York?
Yes, it's less than 100 miles from New York City, and it is the Plum Island Lab,
right?
Which the U.S. government conducts top secret experiments there.
Basically, from everything I researched, this is the Wuhan of the United States.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is where coronavirus came from.
But they're not very secretive about anything.
Some people say they are, some people say they're not.
Well...
This also has been linked to an Al-Qaeda plot and Nazi scientists.
I did see the Al-Qaeda plot. I have that in my notes right there.
Yes. So, it's less than a 2-minute chopper ride from the tip of Long Island, which I think is 5 miles from Long Island. And it's this lonely little island in the middle of the coast. Where do I start here, Mike?
Dude, you start at the beginning.
Yeah, I told you I had choppy notes, though. I told you to keep me on track.
Okay, get on track, boy.
The south side of the islands are abandoned ruins of the original lab run by Nazi scientists. And
were they Nazi scientists that were brought here by the U.S. government after World War II?
Yes.
Okay.
So, right after World War II, in Operation Paperclip,
I remember that.
They brought over Nazi scientists to the U.S. to contribute to rocket science, whatever the hell they were working on over there.
Nuclear.
They grabbed them up before the Soviets could get them because they thought that we better get them before they do. So you have Eric Traub, who worked for Heinrich Himmler, who is a leader of the SS and all those terrible... Look him up.
Bad dude.
Bad dude. Evildoer.
Not a nice guy.
So Eric Traub was brought over here in Operation Paperclip, and his goal was to set up a lab that would infect ticks with deadly diseases for biowarfare. That was his main goal. Now, also with Operation Paperclip, you had I almost said Eric von Däniken. It was oh God, I thought I wrote his name down here. It was the head of, basically went on to form NASA. Rocket scientist Werner von Braun. Sound familiar?
Werner von Braun.
Get off your phone, Katie.
Is that like Von Erich?
No. Eric von Däniken. No, he wrote Chariots of the Gods. No, but Werner von Braun. He went on to head to form NASA. So really smart guys. But there's a lot of things that I found with this episode that are conspiracy and non-conspiracy. So when I went down this road, I found one that was more like, this is not a conspiracy. This island is set here to help you guys, help the Americans, and so we're not hit by a terrorist attack or whatever. You're basically you're safe. Nothing breaks out. Nothing gets loose, and we can fight.
But this is like this. This is a place where they do research into biological warfare, virus warfare.
Well, so the facility claims that they don't. They claim that it's not biowarfare.
Well, okay.
Okay.
That's semantics, I think.
Right. So right now, I guess it's led by the Department of Homeland Security, and that was after 9/11.
But this is the only place in North America that has a vaccine for hoof and mouth disease.
Do they?
Did you know that?
No.
Plum Island houses the only hoof and mouth disease vaccine bank in North America, which maintains a variety of vaccines that have been developed to combat more than 60 different strains of disease.
Okay, so you can take that. Let's run with that.
How's that not biowarfare?
Okay, hold on. Well, let's run with this. This is what I found. So this, they claim that they only do animal disease. It's an animal disease research laboratory. And one guy says, if you take the word government and laboratory and mix it with a place you're not allowed to go, automatically there's a conspiracy theory.
I agree with that.
Thanks to science fiction.
I agree with that.
Okay.
This is considered the Area 51 of East Coast.
Right. So they believe there's alien technology, DNA modification, and they claim it's all false. I forget. I should have wrote the guy's name down, but he was like, I don't know, the spokesman of Plum Island.
Oh, so he's like their press guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like if you and me had a press guy, they would say, well, they're not vulgar at all.
Right. Well, he goes on to say, the reasons why we're here is to keep hamburgers from being $100 a piece. So I guess if shit got poisoned with foot and mouth. What is it? Hoof and mouth?
Foot and mouth disease.
Ass to mouth disease?
Ass to mouth disease. ATM disease.
He says, just trying to protect the nation's livestock, which protects the economy. There's no classified work. They publish all their work. Which do they really?
I don't know. I found a report, which I'm going to link.
Okay.
It's a PDF, but it's a redacted report. So what are you redacting if it's not?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So they said to keep out disease like foot and mouth that hasn't been there since 1929. So I guess that's a good thing. It hasn't been there since 1930, the 30s. Which they did have a little slip up in the, like, I think 75, where one of their negative airflow fans malfunctioned and then some of the virus got out, but they don't say that anything was affected. They said it was just a mess up, pretty much. Also, it would cost upwards of $150 billion to recover from a foot and mouth disease outbreak.
I believe that's how much damage it would do to the economy.
Yeah.
I could see that easy.
I mean, you're hitting our breadbasket, pretty much.
Well, if I can't have a steak,
I get hangry.
I don't get hangry without a steak.
Now, the guy goes on to say that what they do there is they recreate pathogens that could cause a potential pandemic, then study it and see where they come from.
So is this guy's name Verrico?
No, I don't think so.
Verrico?
Maybe.
Because his statement that I have in my research, despite all the security measures, Plum Island does not work in secrecy.
That's probably the same guy.
Could quote, we actually don't do any classified work at all. Our scientists publish reports on everything we do.
That's got to be the same guy.
Even though some of the reports are redacted.
Right. What else is there? He says they're learning how pathogens will change in certain environments.
That sounds a lot like Wuhan.
and study what opportunities we might provide pathogens in the world at large. So what we would contribute, like, do we use too much Clorox bleach that they become immune?
Okay. Which is all good research.
What is our impact? Yeah, so what they're trying to say is they're leading us to believe that there's nothing wrong. Like, just let us be. We're doing you guys good.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Nothing to see here. Move along. And then, to add on to that, he says you can recreate this in the secure labs to see how pathogens will change. You can study how these pathogens are changing in ways to allow them to have a pandemic-causing potential. If they can figure out that they can contain them before they start to spread. So does that make sense?
Yeah. But this is a facility.
Say viruses are always mutating.
Right.
So one vaccine will not work for everything.
Right. Just like they're finding out that some of the coronaviruses aren't affected by the vaccines that are currently on the market. Blah, 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 blah. But this place, in 1971, New York Times had an article that basically described this facility as the Devil's Island of the deadliest animal disease germs known to man.
Right.
And described the elaborate security measures they have there, including airlocks, which makes sense if you're doing that kind of research. Like, holding tanks of sterilized wastewater from mandatory showers that were taken by staff members who had to take a shower every day after they leave work. Right. So, decontamination showers. I guess there's some nice beaches on this island. And they have 24-hour, round-the-clock security patrols to keep boaters away from landing on those beaches. Because you're out in a boat, you see, hey, there's a nice beach over there, let's just go land there. Have a picnic.
Right, yeah.
And then you get hooked from mouse disease.
Right. So, apparently this is like the highest bio-level safety lab.
Wuhan.
So, I guess it only goes up to 4?
I don't know.
I think it's 4. I have here, it's a level 4 biosafety lab. They test for foot and mouth disease on already infected animals.
How many already infected animals do you have?
They don't say. So all this, I wasn't going down this avenue when I first studied this.
Okay.
This is like hey, we're a good cause. Everything I've researched before this was like, it's a conspiracy. And then I found this and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, this makes sense.
Well, you go along with this and some of the things that we talked about with the deformed animals that were found near there.
Right.
I'm just wondering.
It's makes you question things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a couple more notes here. Here's another one that says, this is the same guy, he says, if you can predict how a pathogen might change or how a pathogen is changing, you can potentially stop a pandemic. Except for the coronavirus.
I agree.
So basically this facility is it's kind of protected, but it's not. And they're under a lot of controversy.
Well, anytime you try to do anything and you have to hold something back,
right?
There's going to be controversy. There's going to be conspiracy theorists. There's going to be.
Well, they said that they have like sloppy standards. Things are getting out. They're doing experiments that we're not aware of, and it's a cause for it's a disaster in the making.
I could see that too. I think that's what happened with Corona with Wuhan.
Yeah. So this was, and I don't know where they're at now, but I think as far as 2000, they've been talking about this since I think 2008, and I don't know if they've done this already, but they were moving the facility to Kansas, where they'll be working on pathogens that not only kill animals, but also kill humans. So on Plum Island, it was just animal research.
But doesn't foot and mouth disease kill humans?
No, does not.
Doesn't?
No. Unless, I guess, it's a mutated strain.
If you eat an infected cow,
no.
You don't? There's no danger?
No.
Just boil the meat and it's cool?
Boil the meat, ball the meat, you good. So there was another concern for that. Oh, you go in the middle of Kansas, that's in cattle country.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so if you have an outbreak there, you're going to basically destroy the whole food economy. And so there's a lot of alarms being raised there. But now I'm going to kind of go into like the conspiracy theory of this.
Okay.
So
hit me up because I love hearing this shit.
All right, so we already established that the guy that I was talking to before that was saying, "Oh, there's nothing going on here." He says, "Oh, there was never any Nazi scientists here working at this place."
So no paperclip people there.
No paperclip. That's a lie. Which he says is a lie. But Eric Traub, who was a Nazi soldier, was brought over here, and his idea was to start this facility to infect ticks with diseases and basically do like a tick bomb. It's like a little natural warrior. So that went on and on. 2001, it was taken over by Homeland Security. And in July of 2008, there were apparently, I guess, two. I didn't know there was two. I thought there was one. But two Montauk, what they call Montauk Monsters.
Right, this is how this started with you and me.
Yeah.
The Montauk Monster.
Yeah. So you research Montauk Monster. You'll come to find stuff about Plum Island.
A weird-looking carcass.
Yeah, it was this weird looking. Some people think it was a raccoon that had like no fur on it.
Yeah, but it had
a turtle without a shell.
Like it had an avian beak. Like a bird's beak.
And it had like claws.
Right.
Definitely totally weird. I wish we could pop a picture of it up there.
I could probably pull one up because I did research it.
Yeah, so this thing washes up on shore, like, 5 miles from Plum Creek on, I forget the beach, but it was right across from Plum Island. And there's videos of it, pictures of it. People are saying, "What the hell is this thing? It looks like a monster." Hence the name Montauk Monster.
Well, it looks like a pit bull that's partially decayed.
Yeah, I don't know what, but it's small. If you look at it, it's probably.
I know these pictures really don't give you a reference.
It's probably like 2 feet long.
These pictures give you no reference for size.
Well, first off, it was bloated.
Well, here's one with a piece of paper next to it. That's as big as my pity.
Your pity don't have a beaked nose.
Well, it looks like bacteria or something. Like, when an animal dies and starts to decompose, it looks like it just decomposed there quicker on the snout.
I mean, it's definitely weird.
Could be a pig.
Definitely weird.
It could be the elusive land hippo.
Yeah, what the hell that is? It's got like 2 front fangs.
That could be a pig. Pigs go feral pretty quick.
It almost looks like a cat or a dog.
Oh, that fur looks thick and coarse like a pig's fur.
Yeah. But I don't think they got pigs all the way up there?
You can have pigs anywhere.
So a lot of people think that this was, a escaped or mutated raccoon, turtle without a shell.
See, those are all smaller animals, and this does not look like this picture here. That looks like a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper.
Yeah.
Here's one floating. Here's a picture of what they thought it could be.
Yeah, okay.
That looks like a kangaroo. Here's one with a lighted tail.
And then the guy didn't say, but there was a second Montauk Monster that washed up in the same area. And
wasn't there 3 altogether?
There was two monster-like things in a human body.
Did was two that were photographed, and then a third one that the people
I didn't know about the third one.
The people took away, and they put it in some kind of frozen cooler because they didn't. They said
I hope that was a Yeti cooler, fool.
They said that the first two like mysteriously disappeared. The carcasses just disappeared. So they took the third one and they put it in an undisclosed location.
Yeah, of course they did. I don't know what the fuck.
But there's no pictures of it anywhere.
It's definitely really weird looking.
It is weird looking. It looks like something partially decayed. It could be a piglet. It could be a small dog. It could be a guinea pig for all I know.
A mutated monster from
I don't know.
Experiments at Plum Island? You decide.
It could be.
You decide. However, it is very odd that it washed up on the shore there.
Yes.
But I guess the conspiracy theories around this place is, okay, you're not only doing experiments with biowarfare, which you will not admit, like, oh no, we're just doing research on animal diseases so we can protect the human, the American public, and protect the livestock in case they get a disease. We can combat it right away. We've already had the disease, and we can get a vaccination for it. So a lot of people are like, yeah, okay, well, you're dealing with a lot of, bizarre, really lethal shit. You don't tell anyone, and it's in the middle of the ocean, or not in the middle of the ocean, but like right off the coast, which could be attacked really easily. And here I find this interesting. This is actually kind of fucking scary. So I think, also in 2008, this woman, Haifaya Sadiqeh, a.k.a. Lady Al-Qaeda, she was the 7th most wanted terrorist in the world. She was a Pakistani scientist. Well, she was actually captured in the United States with a dossier of handwritten documents which talked about a mass casualty attack, and they named Plum Island as one of the attack the spots to be blown up.
I had that in my notes somewhere. Right there.
So it's definitely on...
In 2008.
It's definitely on the watch list.
Right, and what you were talking about is it being shut down. It's supposedly slated to be shut down in 2 years from now.
Okay.
In 2023.
But that's shut down, but they're moving somewhere else.
Yeah, to Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah, right in the heart of cattle country.
$1.25 billion project under construction.
So you got to think of like tornadoes. Are they keeping that in mind?
I'm sure it's an underground facility.
I would hope so. And here's another thought that I thought was really interesting. So this guy, Randy Sykes, he claims he has documents from the federal government from 2005 that list the bioterror agents they were working with, which include anthrax, cholera, desert fever, Lyme's disease, and on these documents, they're saying that it was for biowarfare.
I believe that.
So that's the first time, like, he has solid proof, a smoking gun, that no, this is not just research; it's for biowarfare.
I believe you. I don't think you do any research. Like, honestly, do you do research on hoof and mouth disease without seeing how you can weaponize it,
right?
Or how you can defeat? Like, maybe you need to know how it's weaponized before you can.
I think this is a little bit of
against
both.
a weaponized thing.
I think this is a little bit of both.
I think it only makes sense.
Now he says,
and it also makes sense to me at the same time to kind of hide that from the public a little bit, because public opinion and what we did you
want to have a poker face. You don't want to give away all your secrets,
right? Absolutely. What we talked about in our last episode of cancel culture. This is some scary shit.
Yeah.
And do you really want to get people up in arms about it? Have them up there protesting? You and I both know that the federal facility that was not far from our facility, they had protests there like almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Well, this guy, Randy Sykes, claims that he has Lyme's disease, and that's what had prompted him to do this. Now, there's another man, I forget what his name is, but he went to the government facility. I guess he pulled a FOIA Freedom of Information Act,
yeah.
on getting the documents from what Eric Traub was doing in World War II with the infected ticks, because right in those federal government documents said they were working with Lyme's disease to weaponize it.
I believe that.
So he I guess he pulled a FOIA and said, I want to see the paperwork that what was this Eric Traub Nazi scientist doing with these ticks and Lyme's disease. And of course they said, well, we don't have any documents on that.
There's no documents on that.
Right. So anybody else who knows,
papers, please.
Yeah, papers, please. Everything's gonna be well documented, especially if you're dealing with something like that.
Oh yeah. And if you think about it, if they were working with Lyme disease and ticks, some of these ticks, how small they are.
Oh, they were like the size of the head of a pin. Yeah, the pin of a head.
One of them
head of a pin
getting out on someone as they're leaving the facility. I don't think that's beyond the pale.
Birds that visit the facility, land there.
Yeah,
they could be infected with hundreds of them.
Well, a bird would probably eat them. Birds eat ticks.
Yeah, but
the likelihood of it getting out is very high.
Absolutely. He also says that this document that they actually have a patent for this type of Lyme disease. So I'd like to research further into that. But
and you didn't because
I can't find any information.
You failed.
I failed. I'm going home with my moonshine. Maybe.
Allegedly.
There's no information on it that I could find in the 2 hours I was doing this. But here's another thing I think is weird. So there's a town is it Rhode Island? No, it's fuck, I should have written it down. Massachusetts, I think. It's called Lyme, Massachusetts, or something.
You limey bastard!
And they said that's what Lyme's disease was named after. Was that town? So what are the coincidences that that's where they first saw Lyme's disease? Was 2 miles away from Plum Island, where they allegedly have a patent on the Lyme's disease, who has been, trying to infect ticks from some fucking crazy Nazi scientist. Where is it?
That just says Lyme disease is in Massachusetts. It doesn't say Lyme, Massachusetts.
Lyme, Rhode Island? I don't know. There's like Boston, New York, Rhode Island. I think the closest is Staten Island. It's literally like a stone's throw from.
There's a Lyme Center of New England in Rhode Island. Lyme disease treatment in Rhode Island.
Maybe it's not Rhode Island. Lyme. I don't know. There's some town called Lyme.
Lyme, Connecticut.
There we go. Bingo. Lyme, Connecticut.
So it's not the massholes. It's not Rhode Island. It's Connecticut. The Connecticutans.
So allegedly, that's what Lyme's disease. I guess that's where it first popped up, and that's what they named it after, Lyme's.
There's also a town of Lyme, New York.
So, I mean, definitely this place is kind of scary. And they went on to say, like, all it would take is you go rent a boat and go frickin' drive up to it and blow the place up.
Yeah.
So, I would understand why they want to move it off of that island. But you're kind of getting close to
the heartland.
You better have your shit, in top shape, because if something escapes there and it affects,
it's not just going to wash up on the shore of the next town over.
Yeah. So I really didn't think it was. I thought I was going to go all conspiracy with this, but I'm glad that I found this first part that this guy was saying that it's all bullshit, dude. He's like, we're just here. There's no fucking Montauk Monster. We're not experimenting on humans. We're not this. Yeah, we've had a couple mistakes here and there, but for the most part, we're doing good.
What I've found since we started doing this is there are conspiracy theories abound about a lot of things.
Everything.
And the more that you actually sit down and do the actual research, you find that there's really a plausible explanation for most of it.
Yeah.
And maybe the conspiracy theories are kind of off left field.
Yeah. I think the only conspiracy theory that I found with this was that there was the Montauk Monster, and there was there was a man that washed up on Plum Island, a dead body, and they said that it had 5 holes in his head, and he had elongated fingers.
Well, he could have been Johnny Longfingers from New York,
right,
the mafia,
yeah.
And shot because he snitched on somebody.
Yeah, right. So, so I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, if he washed up on Plum Island, why would they call the cops or the Coast Guard? Why not just hide the body and burn it? Or
if he washed up on Plum Island, yeah,
bury it. Or why would they call authorities and
hey, look at this! Look what we found! Right. This really weird thing that came from our facility.
Right, exactly.
But that's what I say about a lot of conspiracy theories. That when you sit down and you look at them, the conspiracy part of it is really a stretch.
Right.
Where the most reasonable explanation is probably the truth.
I think the most reasonable explanation is exactly what I read in the first half there. Like, they are doing, research on how to stop foot and mouth disease from destroying our economy and killing us all.
Right. But I don't think you can do that without looking at the weaponized portion of it.
Right. Yeah, because they got to look at, like, okay, what if our adversaries want to do this to us?
Wait,
so it's like chess.
If
you got to think,
if Mike has foot and mouth disease in a jar, how would Mike use it? But Crazy John,
I might a crazy one.
I'm just in this scenario. You're crazy. But Crazy John, how would he
forgot the pathogen in his house?
Yeah, he's crazy and wants to kill a lot of people because he hates people. And how would he use it? Well, you have to look at that.
Yeah.
It's just like the government has plans for scenarios.
It's chess, bro.
That may never happen. They have plans for a zombie apocalypse, which more than likely will never happen, despite what you see on Sunday night on TV.
I think their legit biggest concern is how vulnerable this place is.
I don't know that it's that vulnerable. I think they just want to move it because there's a lot of spotlight on it now.
They've been wanting to
Take on the World has taken on Plum Island, so now everybody knows about it.
Right. But they've been wanting to move this since before 2020. I think it was like 2008 they were talking about.
Well, that's because we thought about doing a podcast then. And they were afraid that we'd stumble on it.
I didn't even know you in 2008.
I'm just saying, we thought about it.
But, it's a legit concern. If you have all this... Listen, it's probably a fucking outdated-ass facility.
Absolutely. If it's been there since the 70s?
Like, I think you can pretty much just boat right up to it. You're going to have the Coast Guard harassing your ass. No, it's been around since the
1954.
Yeah, right after World War II.
Well, the scientists came over in like 46. But 54 is when this facility was officially opened.
Yeah. You think they're... But that's... I don't know, that's really scary of you.
But it's 1.5 miles from Long Island.
Yeah. So this one guy, or a lot of people, really do believe that Lyme's disease escaped from Plum Island. And it was just a fuck up.
That could be.
And that's how...
Well, that's what I'm saying. One of those ticks, as small as they are, and the way they breed, could have got out on somebody. And
yeah, absolutely.
And
you'd never see the thing.
Well, I pop positive for Lyme disease every time I'm tested.
Really?
Yes. I don't have it, but I was given the vaccine for it, and the vaccine's a live vaccine. And actually, our employer gave it to me.
No shit.
They offered it to me. I took it.
Can you get it whenever?
What? They don't give the vaccine anymore.
No, they don't.
No, because every time I get a Lyme disease test, they have to notify the CDC because I come up positive.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But I can see them wanting to move it to Kansas.
Well, there's a lot of open space in Kansas.
Underground facility. It's never going to be touched. But listen, people, these are just...
What you're going to do in Kansas is going to be an old drive-in theater up top.
Yeah.
And you go down in the ice cream cooler, and this state-of-the-art facility under the ground.
But I don't know. I truly believe that they're doing both. I don't always think the government's completely diabolical and out to kill everyone.
I don't think they're out to kill, but I think responsibly you have to look at every aspect of these diseases that affect animals and people. And people don't want to hear that.
No,
people don't
like I said before.
Right.
If you take the word government and laboratory and mix it with a place you're not allowed to go,
right, there's going to be a conspiracy.
Exactly.
Area
That's
51.
so true.
And legitimately, in my research, it's called the Area 51 of the East Coast.
Right.
Just like Kecksville is the Area 51 of
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
I mean, our government would
the Roswell, Pittsburgh.
Our government would be stupid not to want to delve into how can we make this a weapon, or if this was a weapon, how do we combat it?
Yeah, how do we combat this weapon? And sometimes you need to create the weapon to defeat it.
Right, and that's exactly kind of what they were saying.
And that doesn't lend any comfort to a lot of people because, there's a general distrust of the government.
Right, and there's that constant in the back of your head, well, what if this facility blew up or was a part of a terrorist attack?
Well, what if the wrong person's in charge?
Wrong person's in charge.
And when you start off a program like this with a Nazi scientist who...
Right.
a lot of the Nazi scientists were forced into their vocation.
Yeah.
They were forced to do what they had to do. It was either do that or die. I get that. I don't let it be an excuse for their actions, but it is what it is. So now they're liberated from the Nazis, and now they're working for us, but who's to say all of them didn't have pure thought? Who's to say some of them weren't actually evil?
Right. Well, you have Eric Traub, who worked under Heinrich Himmler, which he basically designed the gas chambers.
Obviously, Himmler was a legitimate piece of shit.
Yeah. Was
Eric Traub an acolyte, or was he drugged along kicking and screaming?
Yeah. It's hard to say because usually in that type of situation, when you have that much sway and that much power, the guy's just going to go along with you.
Well, I go to recently in our news Gina Carrera from Mandalorian. She made the comment of, well, it wasn't so much what the Nazis were doing, because what they were doing was bad enough, but what your neighbor did to protect themselves, to say, oh, he's a Jew. Mm-hmm. Come get him.
Right.
And now she was bashed and canceled for that and removed from the Mandalorian and all kinds of other stuff, but the behind her statement is a lot of truth. Like, it wasn't a false statement, it's just something that people don't want to hear.
Right.
So
it's almost like they blamed her for taking the blame off of the Nazis.
Right, and that's not what she was doing. Right. If you read her statement, that is not what she said.
There was truth in both were happening.
Yes. The Nazis were doing horrible things, and some people's neighbors were doing horrible things to protect themselves.
And you see that now. Maybe they're not, doing mass executions, but in like China, where they have the social currency, it's if you don't, if you hang around with unsavory people, or you don't make the right life choices, they'll cut you off. No, you can't have that credit card. You can't travel overseas.
Oh yeah.
Or if you do good and you oh,
toe the party line.
that guy over there, see him? He talks out about the government. You know, you get
But
more social credits.
that happened to one of our favorite YouTubers, Uncle Roger.
Really?
He got caught up in something. There was a chef from China that he did a collaboration with, and that chef from China said something against the Chinese government, and he was canceled for they were trying to attach Uncle Roger to it, and I don't know the whole story. I only saw bits and pieces of it, but he was demonetized in China. Uncle Roger is.
Yeah,
but
that's what they do, and that's the same thing in Nazi Germany. So
right.
You had both happening. Do you want to be that good? Do you want to be the good soldier and rat out your neighbors who might be harboring somebody? Or I'm sure the same thing happened in the Civil War.
Well, it happened in Roman times. It's always happened. It's always people will look out for their own self-interest. And okay, but does that mean that they're an inherently bad person, or was it just self-preservation?
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you draw the line between self-preservation and...
Like you and I have both said on numerous occasions, we would do anything for our children.
Yeah.
Okay. What does anything entail?
So if you knew that, okay, slavery's bad, but you had a family come up to you and be like, listen, we're running from somebody who's trying to kill us. You understand that's bad as well. And they're like, can we sleep here? Be like, oh, if you do, if I harbor you, I'm like,
right,
I'm going to get killed. My family's going to get killed. Like, where do you draw the line? And is it bravery? Do you stand up and say, fuck it, I don't care? It's the right thing to do.
And there's people who would do that.
There are, yeah.
And there's a lot of people who would say, look, I just don't want to be involved.
Yeah. And where is that bad or is that good?
And then there's other people who say, well, no. Hey, they're right over here.
Right, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Like, that's a fine line. Like, I would love to say I would, of course, do the right thing and be like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to save this. I'm going to save these people. I'm going to think more of myself. Or not, what am I trying to say?
Well, I have already told Tony and my buddy John Carasquel, if they start kicking Puerto Ricans out of the country, they can sleep in my basement. I'll hide them here. So, I've taken my stand.
You know, it's just like, you don't know until you're there. Like, what would you do?
It's true. All joking aside, you don't know.
You got some crazy Nazis willing to fucking murder your whole family just for, you know, storing a non-Nazi partisan in your basement or your attic.
You could say Jew, it's okay.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Honestly.
Are you going to take up arms or...
I know what I'd say I'd do.
Because ultimately, it's death if you get caught.
It's
death for everyone if you get caught.
What I feel that I'd want to do, but when the time comes, what would you actually do?
Right, yeah. You don't know.
You won't know until that moment.
Right.
I'll talk big and say, I'll do the fuck all want.
Right, yeah.
But...
yeah, talk is cheap.
It is. And, you know, so you have this guy's come over here and he's basically the start of this program.
Right.
Is everything on this program...
He said he was the godfather of Plum Island.
Is everything in this program up and up? Or is there some things they're just not telling us? Or was there something nefarious going on?
I don't think he was just let loose. I'm pretty sure he was probably under a watchful eye.
I think most of those scientists in Operation Paperclip were.
Yeah. But then you have like Werner von Braun. He wanted to found NASA.
Right. He was a rocket scientist.
Yeah. So he said like a legit, I don't know his exact background, but, you know, I don't think he was involved with anything like designing the concentration camps.
Well, no, he was trying to design rocket-powered aircraft and bombs. Bombs.
So, I don't know. It's.
But okay, was he forced into it by the Nazi Party, or did he just find that being a capitalist was a more beneficial thing for him here? You know what I mean? I can't get into his mind and figure out what the hell he was doing.
I think you're going to have a lot of both. You'll probably have some real diehard Nazis that like legitimately hated Jews and wished them all dead, and then they just took okay, this is my way out. I'm gonna play nice. I'm gonna
I just pretend I don't hate Jews.
Yeah, that's that, and we're done now. I'm just gonna hide now.
And you think about like someone like my grandfather who, of German descent, was not allowed to fight in the European theater because he was German. Because there was a mistrust of an American who proudly served his country, and he ended up serving in the Pacific, Panama. I don't know. Anyways,
how the hell did we get on this subject?
I don't know. Some crazy stuff here.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Good topic. It was good sidebars. And so I don't know, folks. Keep your eyes open. And,
well, what else you got on the Montauk Monster?
I don't have anything on the Montauk Monster.
There's not much.
No, I think it's bullshit.
I just think it was a partially decomposed something.
Right? Yeah.
and people tried to make a conspiracy out of it, and it just.
I don't think it didn't hold weight. It's happened. What, the facility's been there since the 50s?
54.
And this happened twice.
Officially since 54. Who knows how long it was there unofficially?
Yeah, I don't know. And it was two little frickin' mutated, weird-looking things wash up ashore. I don't know. I don't buy it. I could see if it kept happening, or
plus the human with the long fingers.
So
Johnny Longfingers from New York.
Johnny Longclaws. I think they said that the second Montauk Monster that washed up on shore, I guess in Connecticut, or Long Island, it looked like it had chicken feet.
That just could be. It's decomposed more there than any place else.
So mixing two things is nothing new. They've been doing that forever. Been doing that forever. Like,
well, that's how you have labradoodles,
right? Yeah. So maybe they thought, well, if we mix this and that together, we'll get something that's immune to, or something that could eat this tick that's infected with all this crap. Who knows? I don't know. But I think my main concern would be that fucking facility being under a terrorist attack.
Well, my main concern is it's the next Wuhan of some virus or something.
Or some moron. They're just with sloppy protocols let something out. But I think they need some kind of new, updated facility, not something from World War II. And I guess that's why we pay taxes, to keep us safe. Like, if half our freaking foot and mouth disease gets out and destroys all the cows here, we're gonna have no milk, no butter, no beef.
Whoa! No butter?
Yeah, no
Fuck
butter.
That shit.
Yeah. It's just, and then again, it goes back to that guy saying we're here to make sure that your hamburgers don't cost $90 a piece.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Because I like me a hamburger.
God, I haven't had a burger forever.
I was going to make burgers today with no buns.
Should have. So, I don't know. I don't have anything else to add to that.
All right. Well, that was a decent topic. I mean...
Yeah, I thought it's just pretty short. I did not think it was going to go this direction.
It was interesting research. I didn't think it was going to go this direction either, because every time you come up with something, it's like, deep, dark conspiracy.
I know, yeah. But, I think the older I get, the less I believe in conspiracy. But there's just... This, to me, is just common sense. I'm like, yeah, are you shocked that we have a facility that has a bio-warfare research lab?
No, not at all.
No.
We should.
Because every fucking other country does.
If you can't keep up with the Joneses...
Right.
You're not going to be a Jones anymore.
No. Yeah.
That made no sense.
I got it. It made sense to me.
You know what you meant. So, I think we've solved the mystery of Plum Island.
Solved.
And what will happen is before this episode airs, you're going to see something in the news. This is what's been happening. Every time we do a topic, now it takes me a week or two to get everything in line. We have a couple episodes already in queue to come up. So, like, this will come up like 3 or 4 weeks from now, from the day that we actually film it. And next week we'll see something in the news because our phones are right here and Google's listening to us.
Oh, for sure.
And you'll see something about Plum Island that'll confirm everything that we came up with. So, thank you for Take on the World. How many times has it happened? Like 3 or 4 times now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
actually, that's that next conspiracy.
Yeah. The Google listening devices.
Yeah. Yep. That's for real.
Yeah, that is for real. Try to search something on your phone to see if it doesn't come up as an ad.
Just talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest one that happens. When you talk about something and it pops up on your Facebook feed.
Here's a weird one. We had a contractor come to the jail. Now, I don't know this guy. Never met him. First time, I only met him like twice. He comes in. We sign him in. Go through his tools, everything. Blah, 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 blah. A week later, he comes up as not that he requested me as a friend, just as an acquaintance you might know.
Yeah.
Here's someone you might want to friend on Facebook. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah. His phone probably linked to the Wi-Fi or something.
Jesus.
Saw yours.
Yeah.
You never know, man. It's weird how that shit works. The whole big whatever.
That movie we watched, or the show with me and Deb watched on social media.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's why I should know the name of it. I don't. But
my sister told me about that. What the hell was it? It was shit. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That was last year, 2020. The social conflict?
Social dilemma.
Social dilemma.
The social dilemma. If you get a chance, check that out.
Yeah.
And it's not great cinematography, but it makes you think.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you think. So that might be a good topic for the future.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, like I said, we solved Plum Island. We solved the Montauk Monster. We took on the world. Now you go take on the world. Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.